on female, and have the female place her hands on her own breast. You work above and just below. That way you're not interfering with the sexual thing, and you're actually energizing the etheric and the actual heart.
Right, that's a good point. Hear that? Yeah.
It was difficult to hear over here.
What he's saying is that he has the female that you're working with actually place her hands in that position, and then just place your hands just above and below them. That's a I'm sorry. Thank you. The actual position 7, here you're getting into lower lung type stuff. If you're dealing with someone who smokes and smokes and smokes, don't feel some obligation to spend the rest of your life with your hands over their lungs. You can stop after 1 or 2 kind of swells and dips. And that's something we should talk about, the whole bell curve draw of energy. This is something that I do talk about in classes, where initially when you lay your hands on someone, the energy resonance will start to build, and it'll build and then it'll plateau when they reach the highest level of resonance. And essentially what you're doing is you're more of a pilot light than anything else. You're raising their field and all of that. And then it'll come back down, it'll balance out for a while, and then it'll usually go back up. Now, some healers stop when it goes back down. Others I ride it out. But, I also have sessions that take 3 to 5 hours long. So it all depends on your bent and where you come from. I usually work with just 1 or 2 people at a time, and I work with them rigorously until they're better. And I spend whatever amount of time is necessary in a session with them. So I don't have that 4 client a day thing going or anything like that. I tend to work more seriously. Also, with moving on to position 8, solar plexus, go through all of the emotional correspondences and warn them about all that stuff that may come up flying up into your face from this. Also let them know that probably a lot of the intuitive stuff that they'll get will be related to linking the solar plexus and other chakras, and if that's okay to do, stuff like that. Tell them that, by all means, tell them that it's okay to go off the map. 9, you're still getting down into major body organs. This is also the 2nd chakra. Sexual issues come up, power issues come up usually. 10 is awesome for, position 10 is just great for cysts, ovarian cysts and stuff like that, and it's like butter. It has been my experience in terms of how these things melt. So that's really cool. One of the interesting things about cysts that I've noticed is that every now and then, when you're working on someone with cysts, they will feel sharp jabbing pains as these things are leaving them or being broken up. Maybe that's just specific guys that deal with me. Maybe it's a more universal phenomenon. I don't know. It's never really bothered anybody that I've worked on because they've left without them, But it's a weird thing with me in Reiki, because that's really the only place where pain ever enters into it, if you ever feel pain in your hands, that's completely wrong. That just shouldn't happen. You should be much more protected than that. So, let's go through that procedure. If you feel pain in your hands, what I teach is to communicate with my, guides, angels, whoever's working with me, and let them know that that's not a sensation that I desire. And if it persists, then I'll remove my hands and try treating off the body, which almost always takes care of it if that occurs. And this doesn't occur to me very often, thank goodness. And I hope it stays away from me. And if it persists after that, then the thing to do, essentially, is to go, move to a different part of the body if it still persists. Wash your hands and wish them well in life, because whatever's going on is certainly something that you don't necessarily want to be associated with. Perhaps refer them to another healer that maybe will be more resonant. Okay, back to where we were.
One question on that too. What did you do to stop when your hands were so hot, like burning? Do you just with intent stop it, or do you also, if the person feels that their hands are too hot, lift them up?
That's something that they have complete control over too.
So with intent, you were able to stop it with yours?
Oh, sure. That's more of a thing for the person on the table, though, if they're the ones feeling the heat. Oh, I see what you're asking. In terms of, oh, okay, yeah, thank you. You were leading me to this one.
Yeah.
Hey, there's someone who sat through a few of my classes.
Well, I sat through one of your sessions where you were burning me. I told you to stop it, but I didn't know how you did it.
Oh,
you did stop it. It was like you were burning your fingertips. I could just feel it. It felt like a burning sensation. And
that's pretty unusual.
Well, friend that took the class with you, but, you know, your first class, they noticed it.
Yeah, I switched that after that first class by, well, initially when I first felt the energy in my hands, I felt a heat. And I didn't enjoy that because I found that in positions where I'd be like this with my nails digging in, sort of, it got really uncomfortable here where my nails were because it was so hot. And so I just kind of silently said, you know, is there anything else that could be offered up here in terms of sensations? And what I've gotten ever since then is a tingling, which has served me really well because I've been able to differentiate various levels and kinds of energy by how they feel, in terms of their vibrational rate and how the tingle goes and stuff like that. So you can, all of that is fairly malleable. And the person on the table can dictate, you know, I didn't shut off the heat. When you asked for it to do it, then you were the one sort of shutting off the heat. So the person on the table has more control over that. Because most of the time, the sensation in the healer's hands and the sensation in the healee is, you know, entirely different. Okay. Another thing that can happen at 10 that you should be aware of are, you know, with all of this, we all store, and body workers among us can certainly attest to this, we all store stuff in a, you know, muscular patterns within our muscular skeletal structures and maybe on a cellular level, and, you know, all of that good stuff. Reiki does a fairly decent job of releasing that from time to time, you know, when it's necessary. And position 10 is a place where people store a lot of abuse. It doesn't even have to be sexual abuse. And, you know, abuse in general. And so that's the kind of stuff that you won't be expecting here. You know, you think it would occur at the second or third chakras. And instead, here it comes at this one, in this place. So just be prepared for that when you're working with people in this way.